So with the NBA season officially drawing to a close, it's official the Atlanta Hawks are going to be the 9th seed in the play-in tournament, sitting at a 43-39 record. And basically this episode, I'm going to be talking about the odds of them not only winning this play-in game and things they have to do to win the playoff game and who they have to stop to win this play-in game. However, I'm also going to talk about the odds of them going on a pretty long and lengthy playoff run, which I don't think are very, very high, but I definitely do think are there, and I definitely think should be talked about. However, before I get into this video, make sure to like, subscribe, turn the notification bell. You guys help me out a little bit. And without further ado, let's get right into this video. As you guys can see, I have my Trae Young jersey on. It's a fairly good day knowing that Atlanta has a possibility of making the playoffs. However, the Hawks will play the Hornets, and they will have to beat two teams in order to try and get a spot in the playoffs, as they are the 9th seed, and they are not one of the top 2, 8, or 7 seeds, which is kind of an L, but it's what has to happen. It's what we have to do, and I personally think the Atlanta Hawks are more than capable of doing this. Now, of course, going into the Hawks versus Hornets as a regular season series, this season series is actually tied between the two teams. The Hornets have won 2 games, and the Atlanta Hawks have won 2 games. Now, of course, I'm going to talk about some key players for the Atlanta Hawks going into this game and possibly into the playoffs. Now, of course, the first player, pretty obvious. It's the guy's jersey I'm wearing, Trae Young. He finished first in total points and assists, which is absolutely phenomenal. He is the first player of all time to do that in both college and the NBA. That's just incredible. However, this guy's been the dude the entire season. He's leading the NBA in total points and assists, as I just said, and will look to lead the Atlanta Hawks into the playoffs and into another further possible playoff run. Trae Young is arguably the best point guard in the league at this point. He is the guy for the Atlanta Hawks. I definitely believe in him. I think all the Atlanta Hawks fans around the city, around the world possibly, believe that Trae Young can lead us into the playoffs. I think it's going to be key trying to get the Atlanta Hawks past this Charlotte Hornets team, which is a very tough and gritty team nonetheless. Now, of course, going to our next guy. Our next guy's actually been injured for a huge majority of the season. However, there is rumor that he could come back for this play-in game, which will be huge. I'm talking about John Collins. John Collins' scoring may not be all that is needed, and it also may not be there. However, what we really need from him is his energy, his rebounding, and his defense, which I think will be huge bonuses to this team. John Collins, he can go up for a lob. He can give us 17 points in a game when he's 100%. However, even when he's not giving us points, he provides a lot of energy to this team. Whether he comes off the bench or starts, I think he will be a huge upgrade from what we have as of right now. And I think John Collins will also provide another threat on the offensive and defensive side. I'm really glad that he has the possibility of coming back. I definitely think he can have a huge impact for this Atlanta Hawks team going into this playoff run and possibly this play-in tournament win. Of course, our third guy has been coming off the bench, and he was a huge part of our playoff success last year. I'm talking about Bogdanovic. Of course, last year he was amazing in the playoffs. He's came off the bench this year and has been arguably a 6th man of the year candidate ever since he started coming off the bench. Now, of course, he's not going to win the entire award because he hasn't came off the bench enough games. However, he's definitely one of the better 6 men in the league. I think he provides a lot of energy for us, and he's also one of the better shooters on our team. I think Bogdanovic going to the playoffs is going to be very, very huge. Just as he was in the first round last season, I think he will be equally, or need to be equally as effective, and not only this play-in, but also the first, second, maybe even third or fourth round in the finals of the playoffs if the Atlanta Hawks plan on taking it a long way. Now, of course, I'm going to go with an honorable mention. I think Clint Capella is also a guy you need to talk about. Defensive anchor. He hasn't quite had the year he had last season. However, he is still there. He is still one of the better defensive centers in the entirety of the league. I think his production on defense and possibly on offense will be huge for the Atlanta Hawks heading into this play-in tournament and further into the playoffs. Now, of course, I'm going to talk about key players the Atlanta Hawks need to slow down for the Charlotte Hornets. Starting off with LaMelo Ball. He recently became one of the few 20-year-olds in NBA history to average 20 points a game. He's been one of the better all-around point guards in the league ever since his rookie season, to be honest with you, just over a year ago. LaMelo Ball is definitely a guy the Atlanta Hawks have to slow down. I don't think Trae Young should guard him. I think they should definitely switch a bigger and maybe shiftier, better defender onto LaMelo Ball for this game. Unless he goes off. I mean, if LaMelo Ball just goes off, he's pretty much unguardable, not only from his scoring production, but also from his passing production. I think LaMelo Ball is most definitely a guy the Atlanta Hawks need to be focused on. You got to slow him down if you want a chance to beat the Charlotte Hornets team. If you let him run, if you let this entire Charlotte Hornets team run all over you, it's going to be very, very, very difficult. Now, of course, going to our next guy, a guy who has really been on the come up. He's averaging 20-plus points per game this year. It is Miles Bridges. Miles Bridges has been super efficient this season and is somebody that the Atlanta Hawks once again are going to 100% need to slow down. Miles Bridges has incredible talent. He can drive to the basket. He can dunk like no other. He has almost a 40-inch vertical, maybe over a 40-inch vertical. And he's also a guy that can run with the Charlotte Hornets team. Just like I said, I'm going to stress it again and again. I want you guys to actually go and maybe look it up, maybe go into it. This Charlotte Hornets team is very good in transition. If you let this team run all over you, they are going to beat you. You cannot beat this team running if you're the Atlanta Hawks. Miles Bridges is a huge part of their offense, averaging over 20 points a game. I definitely think you need to slow this guy down. Now, of course, going to our last main target, you have Terry Rozier. Scary Terry is an incredible scoring guard. Another guy who's averaging nearly 20 points per. And he also did very good last year on offense. He's another person the Atlanta Hawks will need to slow down. While he's not all the most efficient nor the most consistent, he is definitely a guy that can go off at any given time. This time is the last time you want this guy to possibly go off on you. I think you need to slow down Terry Rozier, especially when he's going to the basket. When he's driving to the basket, making those shots, it makes room for him to hit his perimeter shooting and hit his perimeter shots. I definitely think you need to slow this guy down if you are the Atlanta Hawks and you want to limit this offense for the Charlotte Hornets. Now, of course, going to my honorable mention, you have Montrezl Harrell. Now, of course, Montrezl Harrell was acquired in a trade earlier in the season with the Charlotte Hornets, so he hasn't been with the team the entire time. However, he's still a Sixth Man of the Year candidate. He's still a guy that brings a lot of energy off the bench on offense and on defense. I think the Atlanta Hawks definitely need to dedicate their bench to slowing this guy down, and I do think he is going to be a huge part of this game for both sides, whether it involves Charlotte winning or Charlotte losing the game. Now, of course, I'm going to go to keys of the game for both teams. Of course, starting off with the Atlanta Hawks, you need to neutralize LaMelo Ball. I said this earlier. LaMelo Ball is the main guy on the Charlotte Hornets team. You're going to have to neutralize him. You have to find a way to slow this guy down. If you don't slow him down, once again, this team is going to run on you, and the Atlanta Hawks do not want that. You will not win a run. You will not win a track meet with this team. Of course, for the second option, for the second key to the game for the Atlanta Hawks, you need to use your bench and you need to use your depth scoring. The Atlanta Hawks are going to need a lot of production off the bench this game. The bench has been very good during this little streak that the Atlanta Hawks have been on, if you want to call it that. They've been really good, especially going to the last stretch of the season. I think the bench definitely needs to show up in this playing game if the Atlanta Hawks have a chance and want to have a chance to go further and further into the playoffs. And of course, number 3, and possibly the most important, you need to get Trae Young a favorable matchup on both sides of the ball. You cannot make Trae Young, and as much as many of us want to believe he's a great defender, Trae Young is not. He is a bad defender. You can go look it up yourself. You can go see. Trae Young's one of the worst defenders in the league, statistic-wise. You cannot make him guard LaMelo Ball, and you should probably switch a worse defender on him. You should probably give him times where he has to go off ball, maybe go on to the wing a little bit. You need to get Trae Young a favorable matchup on both sides of the ball. You need to get him comfortable. You need to get him going early. I believe he is a huge key, and not only us winning this game, but going further into the playoffs. Now, of course, we're going to go to the Charlotte Hornets, a couple of keys for them. Now, you need to somehow find a way to rebound for key 1 with the smaller bigs. The Charlotte Hornets don't have a lot of lumbering bigs like the Atlanta Hawks. You have guys who are 6'7", Montrezl Harrell, a guy who can really provide a lot of energy off the bench. You have a guy that could really be classified as a big man on this team. You have, of course, Gordon Hayward, who may miss this game. I think he is going to miss this game, so that's just another minus. And you also have Miles Bridges. You need to find a way to rebound the ball if you're the Charlotte Hornets. I think rebounding is going to be a huge part of this game. The Atlanta Hawks have a huge, absolutely huge height advantage and weight advantage on the glass on the Charlotte Hornets. I think you have to find a way to rebound if you're the Hornets this game. Of course, you need a huge game from LaMelo Ball. LaMelo Ball is going to have to be the main guy of the Charlotte Hornets, plan on beating these Atlanta Hawks and plan on going further into the playoffs. I think LaMelo Ball definitely, most definitely has to be really good this game. You need a big game from him if you're the Charlotte Hornets. And, of course, Hornets, you also need to play your game. Shift the momentum. Play fast plays. Exciting. Running. I think the Charlotte Hornets need to kind of go towards maybe a little bit of a half-court game as we're getting into the playoffs and the game definitely slows down. However, you still need to keep it fast-paced. You still need to try and keep teams running after you. I think that's the Hornets' best chance at winning in the play-in tournament. Now, of course, going to my game prediction. Of course, before I go into it, you guys let me know what you think about these keys to the game. Drop some things in the comments. What do you think the prediction to the game is going to be? What do you think the game is going to be? What do you think the flow of the game will be? Do you think it will be more of a half-court flow? You think it's going to be a fast, maybe half court, maybe non-half court scoring game. You think it's going to be fast-paced. You think the Atlanta Hawks are going to control the game. You guys let me know. Predict the stats. See what Trae Young's going to do. Tell me what you think LaMelo Ball's going to do. Tell me what you think everybody's going to do. I'm just asking for you guys' input. You guys definitely need to let me know. Let me know how you think this game is going to go. I'm really, really interested to hear what you guys have to think about this. However, going into my game prediction, I have the Atlanta Hawks winning by 2 points, 111 to 109. Now, I do think this game is going to be close, but I think the Atlanta Hawks pull it out very, very late into the game. Once again, tell me what you guys think. Tell me your game predictions. You think this game is going to be a blowout? Go ahead and put it in the comments. I am not stopping you. I would really, really love your input on where this game could go. However, that is going to be the end of this video. Thank you for watching. My game prediction is in. I have my Atlanta Hawks, my personal Hawks, winning this game. Of course, I'm flexing the Trae Young jersey. Why would I not? However, of course, that's going to be the end of this video. Thank you for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, TikTok, Spotify, Instagram. Every single one of those links are in the description. Of course, I really, really would appreciate a follow. I really, really would appreciate a sub. But whether you do that or not, I wish you nothing but the best. I wish that you stay loved and stay blessed. Without further ado, I'm going to end this video. Thank you for watching.